More diseases from tattoos, part 3. More diseases from tattoos, part 3. What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going into part 3 of more diseases from tattoos. Today is another very, very important video that will help you out tremendously. Hopefully you will learn from previous lessons. Those of you, men and women, I have a playlist series of men and tattoos. I also have a playlist series of women and tattoos. You need to go to my channel and watch those other videos on men and tattoos and women and tattoos, okay? It's very, very important that you not only watch this video, but watch the other videos I did, more diseases from tattoos, and men and tattoos and women and tattoos. They're in the playlist if you go to my channel. It's extremely important for you to know this information. You may want to, if you're a lady or if you're a man, you need to go through those series, and this series also too. Now, what this particular subject, part 3 that I'm going over, I'm going to talk about cancer. What does tattoos have to do with cancer? Has a whole lot to do with cancer. Has a whole lot to do with cancer. Has a whole lot to do with cancer. There is a reason why the Almighty God told everyone, don't get any markings on your body. Don't get any markings on your body. What are markings? Markings are tattoos. There's a reason why he told you not to do that. Why is that? Well, we're going into part 3 of more diseases from tattoos. Part 3 is talking about cancer that you could get from your tattoos. As I had stated in previous videos, that I watched a woman laying on a table getting tattoos on her inner thighs, and look at my finger. My finger is where the woman's vajayjay was, where the woman's coochie is, where the woman's womb is, okay? Where my finger's point is where her womb was, okay? The tattoo artist was this close to her coochie, her vajayjay, her womb. This guy had to have been a half an inch away from it, from the lips. Do you hear what I'm saying? The woman was sitting there with her legs wide open like this, laying back on the tattoo table, and he had her legs wide open, and she's looking at a cell phone while he's putting this tattoo on her. He was that close to that woman's lips or her coochie, okay? All right. What is that saying? That is saying this, that if that man picks up any of the other diseases I talked about, from her vajayjay, from her coochie, from her womb, if she has HIV, if she has AIDS, if she has herpes, if she has blue waffles, that tattoo needle can pick that up from her and give it to you if he doesn't change the needles. Now, the person might say all day long, hey, I change the needles all day long. There's no way to be able to prove whether he or she changed the needles for every person, because they're supposed to change the needles every person that they come in contact with. Now, I will say that tattoo artists I'm going to make the assumption that there are some good tattoo artists, but some people, if they ran out of needles and you about to give them $200 or $300, but they got to run across town to get some needles, I don't think they're going to necessarily run across town and make you wait for a half an hour or hour till they get back. They don't want that $200 or $300 to go out the door. So I'm not saying that they all will do it. I'm saying that some will. And you know how people are. If you have a man that's this close to a woman's vajayjay, putting tattoos on it, and he gets something like HIV, AIDS, hepatitis B and C, blue waffles, okay, herpes, and he goes to tattoo you next, that stuff can transfer. That stuff can transfer. That stuff can transfer. Okay, I recently, now you can sit up here and I don't believe that. I recently heard of a woman. This woman was on one of these things called a hookah, and they had the pipe and they were smoking the hookah pipe. And then after this woman had finished, another one of her girlfriends used her pipe, hooked it into there, and smoked from the same pipe, hookah pipe. It was 3 women that smoked from the same hookah pipe, but they used the attachment on the end, different ones, so they wouldn't get none from nobody. Well, guess what ended up happening? One of the ladies had herpes. Now, even though they changed the different ends so they wouldn't catch nothing, all 4 of the women all got herpes from the one girlfriend. That ought to tell you something about girls' night out. Maybe you need to keep your butt at home. Now, if they weren't on girls' night out, all 3 of those women wouldn't have got herpes from the girlfriend that did have herpes, where they were smoking the same hookah pipe. So if that can transfer that fast by people using the same hookah pipe, even though they're putting the thing that they put in their mouth, they use different ones, they still got it anyway. If it transferred to all of those women from one of the girlfriends to 3 of the other girlfriends, the next day they had herpes symptoms on their lips and their mouth, and probably on the inside of their mouth too, I'm quite sure. All of them got symptoms within 24 hours. Now, what is the point that I'm making? The point that I'm making is this: if you're getting tattoos and a previous person had any of these diseases I'm telling you about, hepatitis B and C, HIV, AIDS, any of those things, herpes, blue waffles, etc., etc. If they had any of those diseases and the next person that got a tattoo got the same needles that the tattoo artist used on previous people, you might get it. But today we're talking about cancer. There is a disease that I left out. I was going to let this last disease that I found out about, I want to leave this one for last. What is the last disease I'm talking about? It's called HPV. The last disease that I'm going to be talking about is called HPV. What is HPV? I've heard little reports about HPV, but I never really knew that much about HPV. Well, what took place with HPV is that if the tattoo artist is that close to another woman's vajayjay, or coochie, or womb, whatever you want to call her, or he's tattooing the inner thighs, if any of that liquid that she has going on gets into the tattoo needle and he starts tattooing you next, you could possibly get HPV. Well, what does HPV got to do? It's got a whole lot to do with it. If he's tattooing you, it can get into your skin. It possibly can get into your bloodstream. You follow what I'm saying? This is why it's extremely, extremely serious for you to take this seriously. Okay, what can happen? Let me tell you what happened to an aunt of mine. And we are talking about diseases from tattoos, but we're specifically talking about cancer. Now, for those people that may be lesbians, and those people that may be bi, whether you're male or female, or even a straight male, that I'm taking a little side trip, but I want you to know this information because it's extremely, extremely important information for you. This is the reason why you want to share this with as many men and women as possible. This is the reason why you want to share this within as many men or women as possible. If there is a man, if you're a lesbian, or if you're bi male or bi female, or if you're a straight male that likes to perform oral on a woman's private parts, if you're any one of these people that enjoys or likes performing oral on a woman's private parts, do you know that you can get the HPV virus? Once again, do you know that you can get the HPV virus? And from you drinking from a woman's private parts and drinking her liquids or coming in contact with her liquids. Down there, the HPV can get into your throat and it can end up turning into throat cancer. Once again, the HPV can get into your throat and the HPV can turn into throat cancer. You probably didn't know that. Well, let me tell you what happened. I found out that my aunt, older aunt, was a lesbian. Now, if this is your thing, that's your thing. But I'm telling you what could possibly happen to you if you're a lesbian, if you're a bi-male or bi-female, or if you're a straight male. Let me tell you what happened to my aunt. My aunt, an older woman, was a lesbian. I didn't know it until after she died. Notice how I said till after she died, okay? I went to go see my aunt who was in a nursing home. And the person who I thought was just her friend was actually, I guess, her lover, okay? So I'm like, hey, how you doing? So I went over to my aunt and I went to go give her a hug because she was in this nursing home. My aunt was facing the wall. She was sitting in a chair and she was facing the wall this way. And I came from that way into the nursing home room from this way over here. So I seen her sitting in the chair, but she was facing this way towards the wall. So all I could see was one side of her neck. I walked around her from the door into her room, and walked around the side because I was going to give her a hug. When I walked around the side of my aunt's neck, you see my neck right here? You see all this muscle on the side of my neck here? You see all this muscle on the side of my neck here, right? Okay. When I walked around the other side of my aunt to give her a hug, all this muscle right around here was gone. I don't even know how she held her head up. All this when she had throat cancer, and the doctor cut away all this muscle tissue right here. It looked like she went swimming and it looked like a shark attacked her and bit a plug out of her throat. That's exactly what it looked like, because all this meat here on the side of her neck was missing because she had gotten HPV in her throat and the HPV turned into cancer. Are you hearing what I'm saying? The HPV that was in her throat turned into cancer. And they cut all this meat off of her. She didn't last too long after that and she died, okay? Now, there is an actor, very, very well-known actor. This happened to him also too. He enjoyed performing oral on women between their legs. He enjoyed it too. A lot of straight men enjoy doing that. And men, I'm just letting you know, you do that, you don't know if your woman or the woman you screwing around with has got HPV. You don't know. And if she has HPV, a lot of times she may not know she has HPV. And if that HPV gets in your throat, it's a wrap. And it may not happen all at one time. It can happen over a period of time where you find out that you have cancer in your throat. Ladies, you lesbian ladies that like doing that, bi women that doing that, bi men that like doing that, you're also susceptible to that. The woman that you're screwing around with, or more than one woman that you're screwing around with, she may have HPV. She may not even know she has it. She might think she's good, she's healthy. But you'll find out later on when you got to go to the doctor and say you got throat cancer. First thing you're going to be thinking about is, dang, I shouldn't have done all that. Well, it's too late now. It's too late now. It's too late now. Okay? You can get throat cancer. I took a little side trip to tell you how HPV can turn into cancer. Now, so if the person is taking a tattoo, doing a tattoo, and he picks up the HPV virus, it can get into your skin. It can turn into a skin infection, which can turn into a blood infection. So now the stuff is in your blood. Okay, do you hear what I'm saying? Males and females. I'm not trying to, I'm just letting you know what you're doing to yourself that you may not even know that you're doing to yourself. This is part of the reason why you want to share this with as many people as possible. You want to share this with as many people as possible. Like, share, subscribe. Also, too, there is a 21%. I'm looking at this right now. There is another cancer called lymphoma. There's another cancer called lymphoma. All right. And if you get lymphoma, there's a chance the lymphoma is a cancer that attacks your immune system. Your immune system is the part of your body that fights off sicknesses and diseases. Do you understand? Your immune system is what fights off sicknesses and diseases. All right. So there is a 21% more chance of you getting cancer, lymphoma, if you have tattoos. Let me say that again. From the research that I did, there is a 21% chance, increased chance of you getting lymphoma, which is a cancer which attacks your immune system. Your immune system is what protects you from sickness and disease. But the tattoos increase your risk up to 21% of getting a cancer called lymphoma. This is why I'm giving you this information. I'm giving you this information because, yeah, okay, you all right, you may be good with your tattoos right now, but you don't know what's going to happen 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the road. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You could have a liver failure, spleen failure. The tattoos that you have could affect your lungs. You can get other diseases. There's an increase in cancer from you getting the tattoos. From what I read, it was like 21% increase in the chance of you getting lymphoma from the tattoos that you receive. So, a very, very important subject. You want to share this with as many people as possible. If you're male or you're female, you may want to not get a tattoo. Ladies and men, you want to share this video with as many ladies, with as many men as possible. And very, very serious subject. If you are a parent, if you are old. Another thing I need to say too, which is important, they also said in the report that I was reading, the report was also saying it doesn't matter how big the tattoo is. You increase your chances of getting a cancer by the name of lymphoma with getting tattoos. And it could be a small tattoo. So I'm just letting you know, you might want to share this with your brothers and sisters. You might want to share this with other men. You might want to share this with other females, because all this stuff is involved. This is the reason why the Almighty God says, don't get any markings on your body. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and peace.